Silence.
Yes, right, okay, yeah. Welcome to Brandix Reviews. Today we're going to be talking just generally about Star Wars, the state of things, because it's been a bit of a hot topic on YouTube. And so we've got a few things to say about it. So,
Pretty much.
So yeah, pretty much we are Star Wars fans, in a sense.
If you couldn't guess, you know.
Yeah, it's been a love-hate relationship over the years, but in recent times, for the most part, we've given them a lot of, goodwill, I guess. But things have kind of gone downhill a little bit in recent times.
Well, I give them a big pass with The Force Awakens. It's I can see the criticisms of it, but I'm kind of enjoying where it's going. And ultimately, the faults of that film could be forgiven if what comes afterwards is good. But pretty much everything that film seemed to be setting up got thrown out with The Last Jedi. And The Last Jedi, it's not a bad film. It's a perfectly serviceable film. I enjoyed it. But at the same time, it's not a great film. It's got some serious fucking problems.
Now, just to warn you, there are going to be some spoilers here, because we're going to openly talk about possibly The Last Jedi and also Solo as well. So if you haven't seen those films, you might want to knock this off. But I mean, for the most part, I liked Solo. The Force Awakens was...
When it comes to Rogue One, nothing bad I can say about that. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah. It was just The Last Jedi. It was a bit boring. And there was a lot of things that were set up in The Force Awakens that just were thrown out.
I mean, it's kind of cool, you thought this guy was going to be a big thing, but he gets killed like a chump because he's not a big thing. It's yeah, I kind of like the twist, but at the same time...
There's no point to it.
Yeah, and you keep doing it with all these other parts of the film. It's what the hell? Luke Skywalker's gone off to this, secret ancient Jedi temple to learn stuff.
And?
No, he hasn't. He's just fucked off because he didn't want to deal with it anymore because he fucked up with Kylo Ren. And to be fair, it was a cool, way of how he fucked up, you know. You could kind of see where he's coming from. You can see where Kylo Ren's coming from. And it kind of fits in nicely with the whole concept of what's truth from a certain point of view, kind of like with Obi-Wan and the whole Darth Vader betrayed and killed your father kind of thing. It's true from a certain point of view. And it's from Luke's point of view, he was tempted, but he didn't strike him down. But from, Kylo Ren's, it's I woke up to my master standing over me with, an ignited lightsaber. He was going to kill me, so I feel perfectly justified in, striking back at him.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of controversy with people talking about the franchise, because a lot of talk about Kathleen Kennedy needs to take some responsibility for some of the backlash.
Well, there has been quite a bit of pressure for her to go, and I can kind of see it. I mean, she made certain promises when she took over from George Lucas, we're going to be respectful to the characters, we're going to keep the legacy alive and stuff. Well, you haven't. I mean,
literally killed them.
Yeah. Pretty much that was the message of The Last Jedi. It's the past is gone, you've got to kill it. It's okay, I can kind of understand why you don't want to build your entire trilogy around Luke Skywalker, but you could have given him a decent send-off for the fans who have grown up with him.
Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting, the way Han Solo died, and I gave a big pass to that because it was, a very powerful moment. It's shit, that's, really dramatic. But then you've done it to Luke Skywalker as well. He's just, died for reasons.
Yeah. And it was pretty lame as well, the sort of, in a kind of Jurassic Park 3 kind of way, it was just basically a chase movie. It's we've got to get from A to B and we're being chased.
Yeah.
I mean, there's an element of that in Empire Strikes Back, but that's done brilliantly, and there's more going on in the film than just that. But that was pretty much all that's happening in The Last Jedi. There's a few other things that's dotted around, with Rey, but it really has not much meaning. There's not much from her character other than that she's a Mary Sue, I suppose. And
I say, to be fair, I don't think she's any more of a Mary Sue than Luke Skywalker was.
But there was reason for him, because his father was Darth Vader. That's the difference, I think. That was why I.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, if you kind of take, originally that kind of wasn't really a big thing.
Exactly. Yeah, originally I didn't have a problem with it. Force Awakens, I didn't have a problem with it because I thought, well, she's going to know how to fly the Millennium Falcon with zero training at all. She's going to be proficient with a lightsaber with zero training at all, because we'll find out. There's nothing.
Again, part of that is the prequels. It's up until then, it's the Force, how much training does a Jedi really need? Maybe it's a calling,
Yeah.
But then we've had the prequels where it's well, no, actually, you're supposed to train from you're about 8 or something.
Yeah.
And then maybe by the time you're 20, you'll be decent and proficient.
Mm.
Up until that point, it's like, well, you know, Luke Skywalker goes away for a long weekend in Dagobah, and then he's a Jedi Knight in the next film. You know, that's obviously how long it takes.
It just seems to me like I'm kind of anticipating more from the anthology series of movies, which obviously like Rogue One, Solo. We've still got Episode 9 to come out yet. I'm not really looking forward to it because I don't know what to expect, but I also don't know what I want out of it now because everybody that we care about in terms of the original trilogy is either dead or the actress is dead, so they can't bring that character back.
About the only person they could do is Lando Calrissian.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I love Lando.
Yeah.
But don't fuck him up like everybody else, please. Just leave him out of it. It's kind of
out
like watching the prequels and like, oh, thank God, Han Solo made it out there without some like embarrassing like, oh, this is young Han Solo appearance. It's like, oh, thank Christ for that.
Yeah. It's almost like where they went wrong with the DC EU with Zack Snyder doing what he did with characters like Jimmy Olsen, just like taking him out like a chump kind of thing. You don't do that with well-respected characters, even like minor characters like Admiral Akbar, taken out like a chump. You know, I mean, that guy...
And like I say, and it wasn't like nobody would... I mean, he is the meme. Exactly. It's a trap. Even if you don't fucking watch Star Wars, you probably have a... Oh, that's the guy that's like, it's a trap!
Exactly.
Because it is that big fucking meme, you know. Why even have him in it if you're just going to kill him off?
Yeah.
What is the point to that?
I mean, if it was a powerful story and everything, which I didn't think it was, obviously that's subjective.
I mean, to be honest, if you want to bring Luke Skywalker in and have him like be a grumpy old man and like disillusioned and stuff, fine. But don't kill him at the end of the film, or if you do kill him at the end of the film, give him like a really big cool moment. I mean, he was pretty cool with the whole like illusion fight thing.
Yeah.
But ultimately it's like, well, he wasn't really there. He wasn't really, you know, doing anything.
There was no threat.
The only threat is apparently he died for doing that, and I mean the only reason I can explain that in my head is going into the extended universe stuff, and that's just like pure fucking headcanon, you know. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, and it was all for nothing to a certain degree, just to let them escape. There's no kind of story arc in terms of him. He doesn't sort of become a stronger version of himself in doing so. Not really. It's a stretch to say that. You can make a case, but I don't buy that. It just kind of is what it is, and
I mean, ultimately, I'm assuming he's going to return as like an Obi-Wan Kenobi Force Ghost, like to guide Rey from this point onwards. But like I say, in some ways, I don't know, because again, what they're going to set up that they're not going to follow through on again.
Yeah,
and ultimately, there's one more part of this trilogy left, and Kylo Ren is an interesting character, but he's not really carrying it as a solo villain.
Yeah.
Like on his own.
Was that?
Oh!
Yeah, so I'm not really bothered what happens with that character. I don't really care much for him. And I'm not a hater in any way. It's just I'm not exactly enthralled by what we've got left for episode 9. So we'll see what J.J. Abrams does. I mean,
when it comes to Solo, it sort of snuck up on me because it just felt like the marketing department dropped the ball on it. So suddenly it was like, well, that's coming out in a couple of months. Like, why aren't we seeing... Oh, well, we're finally seeing trailers, but they're not exactly, you know, phenomenal. I'm not, like, buzzed, like, what the hell's going on here? I should be, like, way more interested in the fact there's a new Star Wars film coming out.
Yeah.
Because we were serious, like, oh, are we going on the first day? I mean, are we
Star
free?
Wars film
and, you know...
that I haven't seen on the first day since, like, the special editions, and that was, I think it was a bit young to be going away on, like, day one.
So we were seriously in discussions of like, well, when are we free? You know, when can we fit this in?
Like, pretty much. But I still enjoyed it though. I did like Solo.
Yeah. There was nothing wrong with it, but at the same point, it didn't really hit any like really cool moments like Rogue One did.
Yeah, a film like Solo, I kind of put it up there. We've just watched The Scorpion King with Dwayne Johnson. I'd probably put it on the same par as that. Like, perfectly good film, fine. Not exactly a classic, but perfectly enjoyable.
In some ways, I didn't really need it.
Yeah.
There's nothing in this film that it tells me about Han Solo that I didn't either already know, is slightly lamer than what we already had originally, or is just like, well, I didn't really need to know where the Chewie nickname came from, or where he got his blaster. Like, that's never questions that have occurred to me. I mean, there were good things about it. I mean, Lando was pretty cool.
Yeah.
The actor that was playing him definitely like nailed the character.
Yeah, Donald Glover,
Mm.
good actor. But and the bit with the Kessel Run, I like that as well. I thought that was really good. That was better than I expected as well. But it's just a shame that the goodwill seems to have gone downhill.
Well, basically, when you've got that Deadpool and
Infinity War.
yeah, up until this point, you would expect Deadpool to have probably taken the hit. It went up against like Avengers and Star Wars, and it was Star Wars that took the hit because people were like, "Well, we've been and seen this, and we've been and seen that. Do we really want to go see Solo?" And apparently, the answer was no. People just were like, I'm not that bothered."
Mm. Yeah, and
So we've got friends who are Star Wars fans who haven't bothered seeing it yet. Or
yeah, John's not seen it. Yeah,
and that's not like, oh, I'm like, I hate Star Wars and its new feminist direction, or I'm not seeing this film. It's like they just don't care. You know, it's not like any kind of hatred. It's just general apathy.
I mean, there has been some of that. They've felt a bit preachy. I mean, we're quite,
I mean, I must admit, I'm pretty clued in on the whole like anti-SJW thing because I think they are a cancer, pretty much.
Yeah, agreed.
The irony is, I do sort of agree with a lot of the things they spout, but they just amp it up to like fucking 11 all the time. It's like, you kind of had me up until the point where you just had to go that little bit extra further and turn it into something that's actually pretty toxic.
Yeah. And it seems like the themes of that sort of slipping in. It's like Rogue One, for example. It's like the only white male character really that's of any significance is the villain, you know. And it's I don't know. Some people are a bit more sensitive to that. I didn't really make.
I barely even noticed, to be honest.
Same, but when you actually look at it and you actually look at the things that the writers and the directors and the producers have said, like, yep, that's what we're doing. We you know, it's not good really, and I think people are getting a sense that they're being preached to, and it doesn't even make sense in context of Star Wars. Star Trek maybe because that was always contemporary kind of commentary on it, but
Well,
Star
it's
Wars
like
is supposed to
the
be far
point
removed.
that Jeremy Jans raised, and he's not like an anti-SJW by any stretch of the imagination. It's like, it's fine to have these discussions sometimes, but you don't want these discussions every bloody time. Like, oh, you know, well, wait, suddenly we're in an argument about gun control. It's like, look, there's a time and a place. Like, I just want to go and watch a good movie and enjoy myself. I'm not going for a political commentary here.
Well, Star Wars is supposed to be fantasies, but I mean, it's, you know, a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. It's not supposed to mirror the issues that we've got, and it kind of mirrors like even like some of the jokes as well, like in the last Jedi, where
it's like a yo mama joke basically. It's
yeah.
like, at that point, you're not really in a galaxy far, far, far away. You were just in a budget Avengers prequel or something. I don't know what the fuck's going on here.
Yeah. So, a lot of things that they need to change really, and hopefully they will do that, because a lot of what's been happening with Star Wars, this is where it's a bit of a problem, is they seem to be giving you what they think you need, not what you want. It's like, no, you need a film where there are no like white males as the heroes. You need that to grow. It's like, fuck off, seriously. Don't let me preach to. The audience doesn't want that. It's not selling.
I mean, basically, like, if you go back to The Last Jedi, the Cannabite scene could have been entirely dropped. It didn't add anything. I have no problem with Kelly Marie Tran, but apparently there's a big thing of like, oh, she's been hounded off Instagram. And it's like, well, that's pretty shit that people are picking on her like that. But at the same point, the same thing more or less happened to the actor that played like the kid Anakin Skywalker.
Jake Lloyd, yeah.
To the point where he apparently like despises Star Wars and anything connected to Star Wars.
Yeah, he had a bit
because
of a shit time.
he had like a really shit time with people like, fucking Anakin Skywalker is shit, he fucking ruined the film.
Yeah. Well, that was us, to be fair.
Well, it was pretty much everybody, you know.
But, you know. Anyway, we're going to have to sum this up.
Yeah, I mean, the point is, most of the kind of social media like shit you're seeing now, you would have been seeing it back then too if social media was as developed back when the prequels came out as they are now, you know.
Well, people have more of a platform now than they did before with things like Twitter.
I mean, I must admit, a lot of these people are like Soilo and The Last Jedi, it's all like a big SJW thing. It's like, I'm not even bothering watching those videos. I'm like, I don't really agree with you. I'm turning them off. Like, what the fuck are you ranting about?
We're very anti-SJW. I mean, you know, so...
It's like, I sort of agree with a lot of your stuff you're saying, but at the same point, it's like, I've seen these films and you're just grasping at straws some of the times. I can kind of see where you're coming from, but...
Yeah.
Like, seriously, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Well, that's Star Wars anyway, so fingers crossed they'll get better. We'll see seriously have to knock this on the head, because then we're into a rare time. But yeah, we might do a follow-up video anyway, and yeah, I guess we'll just leave it then.
Yeah, well, hopefully the next film is stronger.
Cool. Anyway, I'm going to have to knock the thing off because press stop. Bye.
Calls in his car, and unfortunately a Topher. Damn it, Topher! Oh! It was a Topher attack. Yes. Damn it, Topher's attacking us. It's a drive-by in reverse. No. Not in the car.